What's up with you? It's yours truly, Kenneth Lavero, Dwayne Gordon. We here in New York City to do a special interview with two young men. Now, the name of this particular episode is Survivor's Remorse. If you lived in Fort Pierce on May 24th, 1989, there was a serious situation that happened on that day. Those are the things that we will discuss today. Today's interview is about friendship, it's about resilience, it's about comeback, it's about tragedy, and it's about how God can bring you back from death. So please sit back, relax. You might want to handle your emotions on this one. This could be a, tear, a teardropper. But other than that, I'm going to introduce the two young men that this podcast is about. And hopefully you welcome them. I'm going to introduce Pastor William Bishop William Randy Roundtree and Charles Evans. Y'all come on. First of all, we'll start off. How you young men doing today?
How you doing?
Doing
all
great.
right.
Y'all want to get right to it? Or y'all got anything y'all need to say?
Are we chilling in New York City?
Go ahead, hop right in.
Mhm. All right. Tell everybody who you are. Those from Florida, not from Florida, those around the world. We'll start off with you, Charles. Tell everybody who you are.
Charles Evans from Fort Pierce, Florida. I now reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I work at FEMA headquarters in DC. I go back and forth from Atlanta to DC, so that's who I am.
I'm Bishop W.R. Roundtree III, pastor, founder, uh, bishop of Antioch Missionary Baptist Church in Fort Pierce, Florida. Also work for the city of Port St. Lucie. Uh, that's who I am. I'm a motivator. I work with kids. So I do a lot of things. So that's who I am.
So, how did y'all meet?
At church.
We met at church. And I was
Friendship.
Friendship. I think I was 8 years old, and he came and sat by me, and he asked me, "What football team do I like?" And I told him the Cowboys. He said, "Hey, I'm a Cowboys fan," and that's how we became best friends. In that instance, right there.
Forgot about that.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Now, how would you describe your relationship?
I think our relationship was like brothers.
Brothers.
So, I mean, we grew up like brothers. I mean, when we met each other, again, I told you how we met. And then from there, we started staying the night over each other's house. We would hang with each other. We was brothers. I mean, no less. I mean, in high school, I moved with him and his family. His family was my family. My family was his family. My father was his father. His father passed, and my father took on the responsibility of being his father. My mother became his mother. His mother became my mother. His sisters became my sisters. His auntie became my aunties. His uncles became my uncles. It just vice versa. So we just became family.
So yeah, it's a pretty unique relationship. So it started that way, from church, then from church to staying at each other's house. Then from that, growing close to his father and mother. Not only that, his family in Chicago, so kind of took each other in.
Okay. Now, now that we know how you guys have met, know each other, and things of that nature. Now let's get to a date that changed our lives in a way. I would assume. May 24th, 1989. Y'all remember that day?
Yeah.
I do.
My first question: what do you remember about the early part of the day?
For me, it was had been planned throughout the week that we were going to go play basketball on a day, and at that time, basketball was my life. I had been practicing and becoming. I had started becoming a basketball phenom, playing my sophomore year at Central High School, starting on varsity. So basketball had become like a part of my life. I would play no less than 4 times a week, and so going to Port St. Lucie that day was the plan to go play basketball. So even my father at that time wanted me to come over to his house, but I told him no, I'm going to play basketball because that was my thing. So we was going to play basketball. We was eager to go that afternoon to Port St. Lucie to play basketball.
Now, did you play basketball in high school?
I did play for Fort Pitt Central High School.
Okay.
I think a lot of people back then, Port St. Lucie, what is it, Wingate Park? Is it Wingate?
No,
Wingate
it
Park?
was sportsman.
Sportsman Park. So back then, a lot of people from Fort Pitt would go play basketball on Sundays at Sportsman Park.
And that
So
was on Sunday.
it'd be like on Sundays, most time on Sunday or during the week. So you got people, Westwood Central or whoever, people would go out there. Ben Davis, I remember Ben went out there several times, several other people. So they played basketball. It became like a place where you go play basketball beside 13th Street. So if 13th Street was crowded, you would go to Port St. Lucie and play. So that particular day, it was, I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday, but that day, we decided to go play basketball. Well, it wasn't a Sunday, but it was Wednesday.
I
Whenever
think
we
it was
went,
Wednesday.
it was during the week to where, people would go play basketball.
Okay. Is there anything you remember on your way to the basketball court that stands out?
Absolutely. Ms. Evans had cooked some chicken, right? And I was so hungry. And I was like, it was like, Charles was like, man, we'll get some when we get back. I was like, man, I'm so hungry. And she had cooked fried chicken, man. And I was like, man, I want this fried chicken now. I was hungry. So that stuck out with me, yeah.
I can't say I can't remember anything that stuck out. I just know, look, we're gonna play basketball. We're gonna come back and eat. So I can't think of like anything specific that stood out. It's like another day we was going to play basketball.
Mm-hmm. Now, how many people went to go play basketball with you guys?
So it was four of us, and then Babo, Roberto Casanova, Olga's brother. He was going, and I think he was bringing.
At the time, his girlfriend.
That was his girlfriend. He was bringing her to play. So I think it was 6 of us.
But it was supposed to have been 7 of us because Dwayne Gordon was supposed to be with us as well.
Okay, we'll get into that later. On your way back, y'all done finished playing basketball. Randy done got crossed over. Charles done got tired.
Right. That happened for me.
Didn't play no offense.
Right.
Tried to play defense. Y'all get in the car. Was there anything different now that y'all get in the car to head back to Fort Pierce?
For me, it was because we really didn't play basketball. We shot around. Wasn't a lot of people at the court that day. So first thing, Charles and Janie was fussing about the front seat.
Well, before we left.
That was Ben too, because he ran and getting his feet then at the court. She like, Charlie, get out the seat. So he got in the back seat. But what stuck out for me, that we normally go the back way, 25th Street way, back home. But they headed out US one way. And I was like, I'm thinking, well, the only time we do that, we're gonna go to Burger King. I had no money, so I'm thinking they're gonna buy me some Burger King on home. So, that was my thing. That was stuck out with me. Yeah.
And now you bring it up, I forgot. Because we normally go back 25th Street back. But for some reason, that day we went US 1. So Rabo then was following us, trailing us behind us.
So, what do you remember about seconds before the accident took place?
Well, for me, Charles had asked me, he had told me to look at my car. We had just passed Cogano Spin.
The BMW.
And the BMW place. And it was the BMW place then. It's not now. I think it's more of a Chrysler place now, but it was the BMW. No, I take that back. It's still BMW, Mercedes. And he had told me that's what I'm going to get. We always looked at those cars when we went on US 1. And it was a BMW, I think it was the big body 240 or something at the time. That was 1989. So, and he was like, look at car we get. And I was looking back. That was the last thing I saw.
Yeah, both of us were looking back. So I remember pointing at the BMW dealership. That's the last thing I remember before the accident.
Okay. So now we get to the point where the accident occurs. Now, in the immediate time the accident happened, Randy, do you remember anything?
I do not, because my head was turned backwards, trying to look at the car.
Charles, do you remember anything?
Yeah, I remember I was laying on the ground and that was in Bobby. I can't remember his last name. I know he played basketball at Central. He was holding my hand. He was like, "Hey, lay down, man. You're gonna be okay." Yeah, I could feel like blood in my mouth. I ran my tongue like across my teeth, but they felt like they was like sticking straight out. And I asked him, I said, "Man, am I messed up?" He was like, "Yeah, you pretty messed up, but you're gonna be okay." So that's what I remember before we went into the ambulance.
After the aftermath, what type of truck was it, or was it a truck that y'all ran into? What did they say happened?
It was a truck with a flatbed. We didn't run into him. He made the illegal left turn.
They cut us off.
He cut us off. And he was under the influence at the time that he hit us. So he made illegal left turn, and he hit us. As we was traveling north, he tried to make that left turn quickly, and when he hit us, the bed of the truck swirled around and went through the car. I had
Fell on top of the car.
Fell on the, yeah.
Now, let's fast forward to the hospital. Now, I'm assuming, Randy, you're out of it. You out of conscious. Charles, are you in conscious or are you out of conscious?
I'm in conscious.
Okay. So, what do you remember, like arriving at the hospital and the things that occurred?
They put me in the ambulance, and they was telling me I couldn't fall asleep because if I fall asleep, I was gonna go into a coma. So they started asking me different questions. I remember that, and then I remember, I guess, getting to the hospital. And after a while, my sister Barbara came back, and my sister Barbara came back. She was just back there with me, just holding my hand, talking to me, keeping me calm.
So, Randy.
Yes.
You wasn't conscious.
No.
You wasn't aware of anything.
No.
Now, is this a rumor or is this real? I was told that you died and they had zipped you up in the human remains bag. Is that true or false? And if so, what do you know about it?
Well, that's true, Um, that's true. I didn't believe it at first, but I read the report, and I was put in a bag. I was put in the bag, and what happened was my father wanted to see my body, and they unzipped me. And when they unzipped the bag, I coughed up blood and saliva. And when I coughed up blood and saliva, uh, my father said that this boy's not dead. So when they unzipped the bag, my dad was crying and praying, Lord, take me, take me. And I coughed up blood and saliva. And so my dad said, this boy's not dead, and they put me on a machine to help me breathe. And I was on the machine for approximately 1 week. But I didn't believe it at all until I read it in the files.
Now, Charles, what injuries did you have?
I had like crushed bones in my face. My lip was cut. My nose was broken. And because of that, I had to get like a tracheotomy. I think I'm saying it right. A trach tube, so I had to get it in my throat.
Okay. And how long was you in the hospital?
I think a little over a month. Yeah, a little over a month.
Okay.
But I didn't know anyone died in the accident. It was Jonathan Poole. He came to visit me.
Mm-hmm.
I was in ICU, and he told me. That's when I found out someone died. Before that, I didn't know.
Randy,
Yes.
what injuries did you have?
I had a concussion. I was in a coma 2 weeks and 2 days. I broke my jaws was broke. Both of my jaws were broken. I had a hole in my leg. I had a compound fracture in my left wrist. And so that's what. And I was in the hospital for 3.5 months. I had to learn how to walk again, learn how to run again, learn how to write again, because when I first got out the coma, I was scribbling and everything. So it just took a little time for me to get myself back in. But I was in the coma for 2 weeks and 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got out the coma, I was still like in a daze. So it took like another week after that, another like 3 weeks for me to get the grasp of who I was and where I was at.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was the first thing you asked about once you woke up?
Pistons.
I really can't. I don't know the first thing because I asked about a couple of things. But I did ask about the Pistons game. They recorded. My mama got Mr. Butler to record the games for me. And I remember I had short-term memory, so they was giving me like Sister Cal shakes. So I will forget that I drunk the shakes because I will have short-term memory. But I can't recall the first thing I asked about. But I started getting acquisitive about a lot of things. I started asking about everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I asked about how this person. Again, Charles didn't know about anybody passing away, and I didn't either.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, my father told me, and my mom kind of got upset with my father because they were supposed to tell me together.
Right.
So, eventually, I found out what was going on. But the first person I really asked, I know the first person I asked about now. I asked my mom. I said, "How is Charles doing?" That was the first person I asked about. I didn't, and I'm not knocking everybody else because I asked for everybody else. I did.
Mm-hmm.
God knows I did. But Charles was my brother. So I was like, man, how's Charles? You know, and she was like, oh, you guys, are you sure? I was really, yeah, because I didn't, I knew I was with Charles because I even asked about Aunt Mac, but Aunt Mac wasn't even in the car. I just was trying to get familiar with asking about everybody, and my mama just kept telling me, you know, everybody's okay, because they didn't want me to go back into another coma, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah, but the first person I asked about was Charles.
Okay. Now, have you guys ever asked why? Why did I survive this incident when others didn't survive? Have you ever asked yourself that, Charles?
I ask myself, or I ask God, why did I survive? I mean, what's my mission? I mean, why did I survive and other people didn't survive? So, that question, although it's not as strong today, so previously, I always wanted to know why I survived versus other people.
Randy, same thing.
I asked the question. I did for many reasons. One, because one thing we used to go down to Miss Mac house every day. That was one of our things. You know, later in the evening time or something, like at least 2-3 times. Charles was there every day. I was there every day, but I was there 2-3 times a day. I think after the accident, I only showed up one time. But I asked the Lord, you know, I want to know what was my reason for surviving and living. I mean, because I could have been gone just as well, you know. So I did ask that question to the Lord, but you know, I know it's for a better purpose and everything. Even to the point, just kind of going off, like there was a young man that started on the job. I started giving him knowledge and just how to be a man. I told him what an older man told me at the age of 25. I said, if you don't get nothing else from Mr. Roundtree, get this in your life. You know what I'm saying? And so he said, yes, sir. You know, so just the help, I always ask the Lord why. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of know now why. Like Charles said, that question is not so, because we kind of have grown to the point of we know how the Lord is placing us and using us.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of the toughest things to do after the accident. After I got out of the hospital, went through, rehab or whatever, to go down to Miss Mac's house. Now that's survival remorse because I'm like, man, I'm walking down to her house.
Yeah.
She lost her kid and grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am alive. That was one of the toughest things. And for a while, it was like tough.
But Charles was going. I only went one time.
So, both of you did feel some type of guilt,
It was
absolutely.
very.
for surviving.
Absolutely.
And knowing that there's other people that didn't survive and y'all know them personally.
Absolutely. And I used to see Miss Mac at church, and I would give her a hug, but I still, in that process, and it had been years later, I still felt that remorse about her kids. I'm here and her kids are not here. So, absolutely.
So Ms. Matt went to
She went to
Friendship?
No, she went to New Mount Zion.
Okay.
So I would show up at New Mount Zion, and I would preach there and everything.
But another crazy thing, I don't want to say crazy, but about that, if people knew, I would always want to sit in the front seat because I don't really play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I would argue back and forth, like, you go get in the front seat. But that day, I didn't argue, I just got in the back seat.
Mm. Now, how long did it take you guys to return to yourself, the person you was prior to the accident?
I don't think I ever turned back. I don't think I ever went back to myself. I was at a point before the accident. I was getting recruited by colleges to play ball. I was at my peak playing basketball. I think I was at a place of almost I felt like I was almost on top of the world, being 5'3", 5'4", and starting on varsity, and people looking at me playing in camp in the summer and stuff. And well, actually not the summer, that spring I played in the camp at RCC. So it was just like, in that summer we had plans to go into Chicago, being at the Michael Jordan camp. I was almost on top of the world, and after all that, I don't think I ever became. I was not the same person I was before, but I I'm who God wanted me to be. I don't take that for a grain of salt. That I still think, even though I'm not that person who I was before, athletic wise, um, I think God molded me to who He wanted me to be afterwards.
I think for me, the person I was before the accident and after, just from I didn't want to ride in cars for it. So if somebody driving, I would want to sit in the back because I was afraid that we would get an accident. So it took a while to overcome that, but I think it helped me in a way because I had a testimony to share with other people about like what God could do for you, or what God, I don't want to say, well, what God would deliver you or heal you or bring you back or restore you from. That's what I wanted to word restore. So I had that testimony. Not that I wanted to I had that testimony. I'll leave it.
Okay.
And for me, and let me go back. For me, I didn't see the accident. My head was turned, so I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with driving, riding in the car. I was ready to go. I was at a place. I felt like I was at one point in my life, being young and coming back to high school. I felt like I was invincible. And I remember Miss Thompson, who taught the typing class. She pulled me to the side. She said, "Boy, you being wild." And I trusted Miss Thompson. I felt like I conquered everything. I said, I felt like I beat death, So she told me I need to slow down, and that stuck with me as well. But I didn't see the accident. So because I didn't see the accident, I really wasn't scared of anything. I was at a point where I felt like I was almost Superman.
I mean, I didn't see the accident. I didn't see it.
So, both of you guys have a strong relationship with God. Randy, not only are you a pastor, your father is a pastor, your mother is a pastor. Charles, you just like myself, we just grew up in the church since we can remember. We don't even remember church not being in our lives.
Right.
How did your relationship with God change after the accident?
I don't think it changed. Well, yes, it did change because you became more. I know you used the word change, but it did. Well, I guess it did change because you became more. You became closer, and you realize life really is a vapor. You could be here today and gone tomorrow. So you kind of begin to. I know for me, I began to draw closer to God. So not only that, by helping other people. So it did change me in some sense because like I just stated, I was aware that your life it changed. It could change the blink of an eye. Like you say, you go into the grocery store or whatever, you die or you can get in an accident.
For me, it changed. I drew closer to the Lord. Not saying that we wasn't going to church and we didn't believe in the Lord, but I in so many ways I could say in Charles too, that we got more endowed in the Word, and we made it more personal for us because we was living off of mama and daddy,
They faith.
off their faith and their salvation. But when that happened to us, Charles, what Charles said is that we realized that life is nothing but a vapor. It can be here today and gone tomorrow. So yeah, we drew closer to the Word, we drew closer to the Lord, and I wouldn't have it no other way. I mean, again, we was never two guys that was raised without Christ. We was never those guys. You know, we always had the foundation of Christ in our life. But for us at that time, being 15 and 18 years old, it got personal then. It really got personal for both of us. So I think it changed dramatically. It did. It changed dramatically for the both of us. That's how I feel.
Now here's the last question. Is there anything people should know about the accident that we haven't covered?
But you shared that you was supposed to be in the car. You was supposed to go play basketball. But for some reason, like, well, we went to go pick you up. You wasn't at home.
Yeah. Twain was supposed to be in the car with us. We hopefully, yeah, he was supposed to be with us on that day, that night. Also, my father wanted me to come over to his house that night, but we decided to go to that hotel. So, a lot of things happened that night that kind of, I mean, there's just different things that, but I think the most important was Dwayne Gordon was supposed to be in there, and he was able to not be in there, and he was actually upset with us until everything happened. So, and to be honest with you, Gordon knows best is one of our best friends too. We all grew up together. So, I mean, we thank God that nothing happened to him. We thank God that the Lord saved us and healed our bodies. And we're here to tell the story. So,
Well, I would like to say, well, I'm going to bring this point up. How God used people when you're dealing with a tragic situation, so you may need to laugh. God used people to give you that laughter. But I'm thinking about when I was in the hospital, I'll never forget it. Terry Hart, Charlie French, and I want to say Trent Burns. And I was, they came in the room or whatever. So Terry came down, he came to my ear. He was like, did the nurse give you the business? All I can do is, because Charlie Frank laughed, all I can do is laugh. Charlie Frank laughed as well, but just that instant, Terry, he brought laughter in the situation. I was down, but he came and gave that laugh. So I would never forget that moment when Terry came. But another point I want to bring up, and this is kind of, it's off subject, but it's not, in regards to the importance of black people. When they get those jury notices, to serve on the jury, because not many people know the guy that hit us went to trial or whatever, but he almost got off. If it wasn't for, man, I can't remember her name, but she was the only black juror on the jury. And because of her, it was a hung jury. And so they went back in and later to discuss whatever, then they came back out. Then the guy ultimately, he was convicted. But if it wasn't for her, he would have got off. So I just hope more black people understand the importance of serving on the jury. When you get that notice, go serve, because you never know whose life you're going to impact, whose life you're going to save.
Well, fellas, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Let
Everybody
me,
follow Gordon knows best.
Gordon knows best.
let me end this interview. Well, there you have it. It was a great interview with Randy and Charles. To correct what they said, yes, I was supposed to be a part of. I was supposed to go play basketball at the end of the day. some we had planned all week. And this particular day, I was at my house waiting. Sometimes I'm impatient, so I called Charles. Hey man, when y'all coming? Y'all gonna come? What's up, man? Y'all got me sitting here at the house. Well, a lot of people like to say we'll be there in 10 minutes, but 10 minutes turn into 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. So I think I waited about 30 minutes, and I said, Grandma, man, I'm finna run down to Charles' house. And so I ran down to Charles' house. Back then I used to run. So I ran down to Charles' house, and they had already left to go pick me up. So then I went, I said, Miss Evans, where Charles and them at? She said, they left. They went to your house. So I ran back to my house, and my grandma said, Charles had ran it, and the rest of them just left. And y'all know back then we didn't have cell phones, so I couldn't, call the cell phone to say come back or whatever like that. So, they had left. And the rest is a blur. That's what it was for me. That's what it is for a lot of people. But, I thought you guys should know. I asked them some questions that maybe you didn't know. You probably didn't know Randy was declared dead. He was zipped up in the human remains bag until, the Lord brought him back to life. And I know for a fact that Charles has a lot of, not problems like mentally, but Charles has a lot of guilt when it comes to surviving, and there were other people that didn't survive. But I would like to say thank you. This is Testimony Sunday. This was a special edition. For you people that live in Fort Pierce, I would like to thank you. For those around the world, just show some love. We're going to be doing this every Sunday. And if you got a story, come tell Gordon Knows Best. Last but not least, we are here at the Hilton Hotel downtown. Marriott Hotel downtown. So we had asked them to cut the music, but I would think at the beginning the music was cut, and then later on the music came back on. So I want you to excuse us for the playing of the music. But peace out. We'll see you until next time. Gordon Knows Best.